The Big Read is a program of the National Endowment for the Arts in partnership with Arts Midwest. The Big Read is designed to revitalize the role of literature in American culture and encourage citizens to read for pleasure and enlightenment. Ball State University is one of 75 not-for-profit organizations to receive a grant to host a Big Read project between September 2015 and June 2016. Ball State University collaborated with Muncie Public Library, Muncie Action Plan, and other organizations and institutions to provide the community-wide reading activities for the local citizens and students in Muncie, Indiana.
My role was to connect with our schools and work with the schools and the students in the connection to the Big Reads.
My role within this particular project was to give encouragement and support to those who were the program directors.
We as a team here help organize the creation of projects, help write scope of work type documents, and help things get off the ground. So my role and our role in this unit is simply to support the teams when they're out doing these great projects that they all do.
The intent of the Big Read is to really engage the citizens or the community members in reading and being re-engaged in good literature. So the Big Read, this actually met that goal. I was able to attend many of the sessions, and during the sessions I saw a lot of people come together, talk about the book. There were presenters that came and shared. The goals of the grant were met because it did involve people coming together, talking about the book, sharing their thoughts, encouraging them to read.
It was an exciting endeavor, and it was a great way for us to work together on an initiative to bring something new to the schools, but also to bring Ball State into the community. It was a good way for us to work with the school faculty to bring that program that was a part of the university, but then also to expand the horizons at the high school level. We worked with 9th and 10th grade students and teachers.
I particularly enjoyed the gentleman who was an expert in Ray Bradbury, and he came and he gave a lecture that was last fall, and during that I learned, when I was in high school I read 451, and so I learned a little bit more from an expert on the book and Ray Bradbury. So I personally enjoyed that. What I also saw is that a lot of community members that I had never met before that had similar interests want to come together to hear more about that wonderful book and that great author.
I liked that they were intentional about the community being a well-rounded community, meaning they didn't go into one place and claim they were going into the community. They were here on campus in this small community. They were in the library system. They went to churches and community centers and the school system. So they really got the community. I mean, they offered themselves in the program across the spectrum of the community in a way that I thought was meaningful. They could have easily just gone to Muncie Central and it said it's a community event and been done. So I liked that they had varied locations that offered it to, every citizen here.
As a reading professor, I studied the importance of teaching children how to read and then engaging not only children, but people to read throughout their whole entire life. To truly have a democratic society, you have to have a population that is well informed, and reading is one of the major ways to become informed in what's going on. And that can take shape in books or internet, mobile devices, newspapers, all different venues, but reading is critical. And this particular book, 451, really gave an interesting perspective and allowed for a lot of great discussion.
Well, I think the importance of this program is to shine light on something that we kind of forget about, and looking at a community literacy program is, you don't hear much about that in your day-to-day lives. You don't see much coverage or resources being thrown at it. So, you know, seeing a bunch of our young, creative, dynamic students go out into the community and interface with all these different groups for the encouragement and promotion of reading and literacy was a good thing. So it's hard to quantify or, you know, put a value on that, but it's just one of those things that's a win-win for everyone involved, and it's just one of those things that doesn't get enough attention, so it's that you feel good knowing that those kids are out there promoting literacy.
I think one of the big effects for the schools was that connection to the university, that we reached out to them, that we worked on something together. We validated the teachers who worked with us and who contributed to building the curriculum and providing resources and materials. It invigorated them to think of something different, but also, I mean, that was a recognition by the university of their work. That was super important, the fact that we would bring that and then collaborate with them. The effect on the students, you know, was something different. This is something big. We're all doing it together, so much like the Big Reads does for our community to say that we're all in this together. I think this is just my thinking on it, because I didn't ask the kids in particular, but the whole idea that I'm motivated now for a different reason. This guy is going to come and talk to us, so I have some knowledge of the book, but also we're all doing the same thing together. I would have loved if we would have been able to provide all the books that we could have to the school. That was a challenge to get the reading materials into their hands. In the end, we were able to give them some books, and the district contributed some books too. That was kind of a struggle, but in the end we were able to do something which I thought was really great. I'm not sure how. It's my work with the teachers is a collaboration. It always is, and I'm really not sure how it all came out in a conversation. But there were all these books going out to the public, and quite honestly, I don't know how many people in the public showed up and got those books in the end. But we needed them at the schools. We needed to put a book in the hand of every kid who was reading. And so one of the things that we did is ask if those books that were going out to the community later in the year could be used at the high school first. And then we had the kids put like a bookmark in there with a message on there about what they read, and then gave those back, so then they went into the community. I thought that ended up being kind of one of those serendipitous type of things that happen and just come out to have a nice effect. So I hope that those notes were enjoyed in the community. In the future, I would want to include our school faculty in the beginning planning, because this time the plans were different than what they ended up being, which we came up with something good, but when we first presented it to them, they were not interested because it just wasn't at the right place. And I guess if I were just something different, I would include their voices earlier.